mutter under my breath what I will later shout to Zoe in the safety of my office, that only a cretin would turn a perfectly usable walk-in pantry into a kitchen nook. Zoe is my meticulous secretary and most benevolent critic. We have had a long-running but good-natured dialogue about my failure to sell, unload is Zoe's term, the Leland House on Tryon Street. The debate began when I put my foot down and refused to let her order cleanup of the overgrown yard. No prettification, I argued. "You're the realtor, Dolo," Zoe had insisted. "It's an estate sale. It's your job to market the property. It's not as if Aunt Emma Bell's progeny is going to come out from Buffalo to sweep the floors for you." She snapped a file drawer shut with the toe of her naturalizer and tipped her head toward me. I stepped closer to her and lifted an auburn hair from her Peter Pan collar. "It doesn't need to be cleaned up, Zoe. That's just the point. Take a good look at it. It's classic Queen Anne. There aren't many left in this valley. It wants an owner who sees through the cosmetic to the potential. I refuse to let it go to somebody who can't do that. I refuse." I am right about this house, which is breathtaking even in its disarray. It courts attention with the shabby elegance of a has-been whose coquetry narrowly escapes bad taste. It is one of a kind, an identical reverse of a second house which had been constructed on its north side. In 1893, one Judge Johnson Leland built the two homes for his sons, the story went, and demanded that each board foot handled and every inch of wallpaper hung be comparable in the most minute degree, so as to alleviate the suspicion of any favoritism. Their partnered position on Tryon Street accounts for what seems to be an imbalance in design in the surviving house. The curious single tower rising up from the corner gable sheltering the rounded porch on the left makes the entire structure seem like half a house, as though some great hand has smote it down the middle to settle an old score. When I study the house, I see it united with the phantom of its mirror image, raised in the 30s, to make way for a single-story bungalow. If houses were sentient, I've often reflected, the Leland House would be haunted by the absence of its missing mate, the way old soldiers are said to sense the ghost of an amputated limb. But when I show the house, if a buyer suggests that symmetry might be better served with the construction of a second tower, I promptly segue the discussion into a forthright exposition of extensive dry rot and antiquated electrical fittings. I do have scruples. And the house offers 100 temptations. It has whimsical lathe-turned spindle work rimming the fascia and rounded glass panes in the turret windows, and dense plantings of blue iris and black calla lilies and pink naked ladies. So what if the porch planking cants badly to the east? So what if a sheet of graffitied plywood fills in for the missing leaded glass in the front door? So what if the peeling yellow paint falls like spent blossoms into the flower beds? The right buyer, I am certain, will see only the possibilities in the Leland House. The wrong buyer, I am equally certain, is to be quarantined without mercy. Aunt Emma Bell Leland has left the house in a disheveled state. Zoe's point about progeny is well made. There are none. Aunt Emma Bell departed Woodland for the hereafter without marrying, let alone bearing any more Lelands. The distant cousins in Buffalo take little interest in their California property, and Terry Tanako, the family lawyer in Sacramento, told me she's an easy keeper. Take your time. I am taking my time, although I didn't let Zoe send over Brian and Hortensia Ochoa, our cleanup crew. I have taken to puttering around the garden, a jungled thicket of overgrown perennials that makes an oasis even in the suffocating valley heat. A grand trumpet vine bearing fluted red cones winds a trunk the size of a man's forearm around the porch balustrade and up the hand-routed pillars. In the oval flower beds to either side of the bricked front walk grow purple and gold columbine and clover-leafed oxalis. I, who can never remember to water a potted pothos before the leaves fall off in utter despair, found myself buying a garden hose and cow manure at Mikado's nursery one afternoon in April. And pretty soon I began dropping by in the early evenings to slip on rubber thongs and stand in the steamy shade while I sprinkled the beds, taken in by the flowers with their earnest perseverance, the endurance of their blind trust that someone will care for them. Last week, blood red